Here we go!
Hey, what's up everybody? GamerBlake90 here, presenting y'all with another full-length playthrough for a fan-made Sonic game. As I promised at the end of my playthrough series with Sonic After the Sequel, which I finished quite recently, this will be the next fan game that I cover on this channel. And that fan game is Sonic 3D in 2D, or as more known by its full name, Sonic 3D Blast in 2D. It actually came out quite recently. I just glimpsed the announcement trailer for it while I was playing through After the Sequel and posting videos about it. And after testing it for a bit, I was like, holy crap, I've totally got to check this out and show it off on my channel. But at the time I was already recording a playthrough server After the Sequel, so I decided that as soon as I finished that one, I would get right to this fan game. And so here we are. I don't quite know what this extra menu here is for, but I presume it's something that can only be unlocked once you finish the game, so we're gonna put it at the back of our minds at the moment. So if you're wondering what exactly Sonic 3D in 2D is, it's, as the name suggests, it takes Sonic 3D Blast, which was probably the very first foray into 3D gameplay for Sonic, or as IGN so fondly says, the start of Sonic's rough transition to 3D. Now, I'm definitely not going to go parroting about how perfect the 3D Sonic games were, because they definitely weren't, and neither were the 2D games for that matter, but if there was ever any reason that any of the games were flawed, it definitely was not because they were 3D, let me tell you. But that's a topic for another discussion, let's not worry about that right now. So as I said, this fan game takes Sonic 3D Blast and reimagines it from a 2D classic Sonic perspective. As the opening screen indicated, it'll mainly reimagine it from the style of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, starting with the character sprites used from Sonic 3, as you may have seen on the title screen. And you might have wondered why we were seeing Tails and Knuckles on board with Tornado with Sonic, flying towards Flicky Island, which was the island seen on the title screen as well. That's because, unlike in the original 3D Blast, you can elect to play as either Tails or Knuckles. And can we just talk about how clean the fan art is looking for these guys? Well, not so much fan art. I think they were taken from samples of the Sonic OVA, where the animations definitely looked similar. I'd also seen similar styles used with the cutscenes in after and before the sequel, so I'm not sure if it was entirely hand-drawn. It may have been, though. Somebody feel free to correct me if you're more familiar with this game than I am. But yeah, you can choose to go through this game using any of these three characters, and as seen to the right, all the Chaos Emeralds are collectible in the game, but if you aren't feeling confident with the special stage, there is another method you can go about acquiring them, but we're gonna get into that later on. And if you're wondering, this also comes with the continue feature, so whenever you stop playing the game in a sitting, you can then come straight back to where you left off when you boot the game back up. Really love it they added that in, it is super convenient. Anyway, now I might do playthrough for each of these characters here so as to appease everybody, but for now, this first playthrough is going to feature the tried and true blue blur, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog. So, if ever y'all are ready, let's dive into Sonic 3D in 2D. Yo, this is gonna be so fun. Flickies are mysterious birds. They live in another dimension and can travel anywhere through large rings. Now, these cutscenes you have to skip through by pressing the jump button rather than just watching them finish up like they did in the original 3D Blast, which is quite convenient. Pretty clean art here too with Dr. Eggman and the factory in which he's working to hatch his next notorious scheme involving the Flickies. Robotnik learns about their power. If I could harness the power of the Flickies for myself, I would be unstoppable! I would be able to travel anywhere instantly, and the world would finally be in my grasp! Now, if only I could get my hands on the Chaos Emeralds! Okay, my rather faulty attempt to emulate Mike Pogg's voice acting for Eggman took a toll on my throat, so let me not do that again. But, yo, that's a pretty interesting color scheme with the crab bandit to the right there. Half red, half blue. You can probably see that somewhere else. Sonic and friends visit Flicky Island after rumors of Badnik activity. Looks like Robotnik is up to no good once again. We better stop his plans right away. Now, I don't know which character said this line of dialogue since there's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all on the screen. The game doesn't really clarify that, but we'll just draw our own conclusion. Anyway, we'll go into Green Grove Zone Act 1, which was also the very first level in Sonic 3D Blast, and oh my god, man, does this not look stunning or what? It actually calls back to a fairly decent number of Legacy Sonic levels, like that background there along with this wooden bridge, both of which are glimpsed from Aquatic Ruin. Well, at least I know the bridge is definitely from Aquatic Ruin along with Waterfall here, but after that island there, that looks a bit more like the island scene of Sonic 2's idle screen, if I'm correct. And this palm tree, the coconuts in it came from Sonic CD, whereas this palm tree here came from Green Hill Zone. But the one thing that's different about this level that sets it apart from the Legacy levels is the inclusion of the tree up above us. Like, you're not actually standing near a tree, but like those leaves you see in the background all up there, like I think it's a canopy, that's the proper term for it, or something like that. I don't know, whatever it is. But you see in the upper left of the background there, along with the moving clouds, this is pretty super sick, and the sparkles in the ocean too. That is freaking incredible. Anyway, little tip to the wise here, there are springs hidden inside each of, well, not all of these trees, but hidden inside some of them, so keep an eye out for them if you feel like expanding your horizons while you're playing through this first act. Now I could just cap this Buzz Bomber here. That would make for a fairly decent start to the playthrough. Thank you very much. Now, if you played the Sonic 3D Blast yourself, you'll notice right off the bat that there isn't a series of portraits in the lower right indicating how many flickies you have to free to beat the act. Cause guess what? You don't have that limitation to worry about in this fan-made reiteration of 3D Blast. There's no number of flickies you have to collect to beat each level. You just play through this game as you normally would a 2D Sonic game. Is that not convenient, or what? I mean, in all fairness, it was an okay mechanic in the original 3D Blast, but personally one that I didn't really feel was necessary. Although it certainly made for a reduced... Oh my god. Now I'm feeling crabby! But it certainly made for a reduced number of enemies to worry about in like nearly every level, till you get to like the last one, then it's a practical haven for them, but at least you don't have to free all the flickies there. I'm forgetting what that level was called though. I guess 3D Blast wasn't one of the more memorable games for me, to be honest. I don't exactly know why, because I didn't like not enjoy it. I thought it was a fun experience. Maybe it felt a bit restricted by the inclusion of having to save the flickies in each act, but at the same time it kind of feeds into the plot of Flicky Island, because that's what Sonic 3D Blast revolves around. I don't know though. Don't really know why I didn't play this game all that much, but I definitely plan to do a playthrough of the original 3D Blast at some point in the future. I don't know when exactly, but given that it is a haven for Sonic content, that's definitely going to be in the works. Anyway, as been explained, you don't have to worry about collecting a specific number of flickies to finish the act, so that definitely frees up what exactly it is you can do with a game like this. And as far as the layouts go, they're, in my opinion, a bit more complex than I'm used to from the original games, but that could just be a symptom of me being a newbie, or having not played through the game in its entirety, because Sonic Mania felt that way to me as well. And then I did a little something called Getting Good, to the point where I could basically play through the game blindfolded. Oh, and check this out, guys. If you haven't played with the Game Gear games, you won't recognize this little guy. But this here is Silver Sonic from Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. And he functions a bit like Mega Sonic in this game, but with a difference. He goes into an invulnerable spinning animation a lot faster than Mega Sonic does one, and he's a tad more unpredictable with how he times his attacks, which include a dash across the screen that can be timed differently, along with his jump attacks. You can actually also bounce off of him while you're balled up, and he's balled up at the same time, to send him all over the screen. I think it's a page they may have taken from the book of Silver Sonic from Sonic Mania in the Stardust Speedway Act 2 boss. And also, whenever you beat the Act 1 boss, you will collect a Chaos Emerald. So although there are still special stages to worry about in this game, I think if you don't feel like playing the special stages, you could just beat every level and get the Chaos Emeralds that way. Cause the first I played through this game to get a feel for it was through Rusty Ruin, and that little new rule with the Chaos Emeralds held up in the first half of Rusty Ruin as well. And I'm really relieved by that, because how the special stages work in this game are, well, the lightest way I can put it is a headache! Oh crap, sorry, my throat. Anyway, when we do get to a special stage in this game, you'll see why I consider them so much of a headache. Again though, that could probably be attributed to not being entirely comfortable with the special stages yet, because it was definitely that way for Sonic Mania as well until I got good with them. Then that was no longer an issue. Anyway, we're going to Green Grove Act 2. Screw it, I'll have to spin dash. Oh, and that reminds me! Sonic's repertoire of moves include his instant shield from Sonic 3, his spin dash, as you may have already seen, and he has his super peel out from Sonic CD, well, which comes with the dust clouds being thrown up from how he's skidding along on the ground like that. Lovely attention to detail there. And of course with Sonic 3 shields are back as well. This game did say that it was reimagined from the perspective of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so of course the elemental shield will be back as well. And if you were wondering, yes, the shields seen in 3D Blast come into play in this fan game too. And I should be able to show off one of them in just a bit, as soon as I can pick one up. And you can go spin dashing across the water whenever you feel like it. And weren't we just talking about the 3D Blast shields, if I remember right? I think that was actually, I think Sonic 3D Blast was actually the very first game where what would come to be known as a homing attack originated, and this is why. If ever you picked up his Gold Shield in 3D Blast, once you jump near an object, a targeting reticle would show up. Well, in this game I mean, there weren't targeting reticles in the original 3D Blast, but if you were near something that could be targeted, you could then double jump and perform what was known as the homing attack. And that same little rule is back in this fan game as well, but with a targeting reticle included for the sake of convenience. That may have come from Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2, the more I think about it, because the targeting reticle was used for his homing attacks as well, but that ability wasn't tied to his shield. And speaking of shields, it also comes with protection against projectiles just like the elemental shields do. So, pretty fun, isn't it? And being able to take use of the 3D Blast homing attack from a 2D perspective definitely makes for a fascinating turn of events, let me tell you. The more I look at it though, the more I really don't know if I would have minded that they brought back the limitation where you had to grab a number of flickies before finishing the level. Like it wasn't a mechanic I ever felt truly bothered by, but evidently some did not like it? I could probably see why though. But we already covered that subject, so there's no need to revisit it. Anyway, this first level seems to remind me a lot of Aquatic Ruin more so than it does most of the other levels because of the structure of the pillars seen here, the waterfalls and the bridges and the collapsible platforms. But the background scene here in Act 2 definitely comes from Palm Tree Panic in Sonic CD. Almost botched that one there big time. So now one thing I forgot to mention, once you pick up his gold shield, if you aren't targeting anything with a targeting reticle and you perform a double jump, you'll get an air dash instead, or what is known as Sonic Robo Blast as the Thonk. And speaking of Robo Blast, that's definitely going to be covered in this channel as well, on this channel I should say. But as to when that is, I couldn't say for sure, because I have so much to worry about covering as it is. And unfortunately, we're not going to get to show off the special stages yet, but what we are going to get to check out is the very first Act 2 boss in the entire game. Now, this one felt a little bit tricky for me to get the hang of at first, but eventually I got it down. Again, a product of unfamiliarity, but as you can see here, just like in 3D Blast, Eggman's going to be coming at you with this spiked ball right here that he'll drop in his craft now and then. You have to time your spin dashes precisely to avoid it as it's bouncing around the map, and then as soon as Eggman comes in to pick it up, you go right on in and do your thing. At best, you'll be able to get like 2 jumps off of Eggman. Shoot, I didn't mean to jump there. I tried to spin dash. But yeah, at best you could get like 2 jumps on Eggman. Definitely not a third, because in case you haven't noticed, there's a circle of spikes around his craft there. So you definitely have to be careful not to get overzealous here. Alright, let's go in for another double attack. Almost got bopped there again, but we should be fine. Now, it felt a little tricky for me, because I had yet to fully realize just how often what the heck? My jump came out instead of my spin dash. That is quite a nuisance. But it took me a while to figure out that the spiked ball only bounced around the map like 5 times before you could spin dash under it safely and then avoid it cleanly, so that you can then get in your opportunity to attack Eggman. But other than that, pretty simple first boss once you get the hang of it. Anyway, we're done with Green Grove. And yo, this would totally take him as Sandopolis Act 2 in Sonic 3. The sound effect of that gate opening, the style of the gate itself, and where's it gonna take us? To Rusty Ruin Act 1, the next zone in the game. And speaking of Aquatic Ruin vibes, you're definitely gonna get a lot of those here, judging from how the ground looks, as well as these pillars right here. Tell me this doesn't look a lot like Aquatic Ruin. As a matter of fact, it kind of falls into place, because both Aquatic Ruin and Rusty Ruin have the word ruin in their names. Alright, let me stop. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, since we are now done with Green Grove. I was kind of hoping to show off how the special stages work here, because let me tell you, they can be a pain. In fact, they're probably still gonna stay a pain no matter how much you play through them, but that will be for the next video. In my next video, I'll be back to show off the Rusty Ruin Zone in Sonic 3D Blast in 2D, so if you are excited over the fact, make sure to let me know how you feel about this playthrough with your likes and comments down below. Always eager to hear from you, and to make sure you don't miss out on my Sonic content, hit that sub button, but more importantly, and this is a step that many tend to overlook, ring that bell, otherwise you're not going to stay notified. And after you do ring that bell, make sure to hit all in the drop down menu that comes up, so you won't miss out on any notifications about my channel. Same goes for any other channel that you sub to, in fact. So the sub button is kind of useless nowadays. It's really ringing the bell what you want to do, but hey, YouTube is YouTube. So yeah, that's it for this video. Take care, guys. I will see you in my next video when we go through the Rusty Ruin Zone. Until then, blue blurs for life. Take care.